I call on the representative of Myanmar.
Thank you, Mr. President. I ask the floor to respond to the statement just made by the representative of Bangladesh. It is regrettable that Bangladesh used a bunch of false accusations in its statement and misled this assembly with fabricated information. Mr. President, there is clear evidence of presence of Asa terrorists and their supporters in the camps of the Cox's Bazars in Bangladesh. They have been trying to hamper the repatriation process by means of threats, violence, and harassment against those who wish to return to Myanmar. There is extensive media coverage in this matter as well. Bangladesh must acknowledge that their presence in the camps pose a risk to both Myanmar and Bangladesh. Efforts to prevent such activities must be strengthened, not just rhetoric or zero-tolerance policy against terrorism. Mr. President, we fully share the concern of the international community over the violence that affects community in Rakhine. In fact, the government's efforts to bring peace and stability in Rakhine predates the violent attacks by Asa terrorists in 2016 and 2017 that triggered the humanitarian crisis. Bangladesh has always said that the present humanitarian issue is Myanmar's problem and Myanmar has to solve it. Yes, we are well aware of the problem in Rakhine State, and the present government took the initiative to find a sustainable solution to this deep-rooted issue. We have set up bilateral mechanisms to implement the signed repatriation agreements. We believe that we will be able to implement those agreements successfully if the two countries work together in good faith, specifically if Bangladesh works in good faith. However, Bangladesh have chosen a different path. Instead of solving the problem bilaterally in amicable manner as neighbors, Bangladesh consistently seeks international punitive action against my country, including its leaders' constant calls on countries and regional groups to exert political and economic sanctions against Myanmar. Bangladesh's ongoing hostile attitude towards Myanmar will not contribute to our agreed objective of solving the issue of displaced persons in a peaceful and sustainable manner. It would only exacerbate the existing problems and prolong the plight of the displaced persons in different communities in Rakhine. Now is the time for Bangladesh to stop demonizing and finger-pointing Myanmar. Seeking international coercive pressure against Myanmar will not serve any good to anyone. These pressure tactics are futile and counterproductive. Mr. President, as my union minister made it very clear this morning, Myanmar's consistent policy is to maintain friendly relations with all of its 5 neighbors, including Bangladesh. Let me emphasize here that the bilateral cooperation is the only way that can effectively resolve the repatriation issue between Myanmar and Bangladesh. In this regard, Myanmar will always be a willing partner if Bangladesh commits itself to the bilateral process. Finally, Mr. President, let me conclude my response by categorically rejecting the accusations contained in the statement on Bangladesh. It is completely untrue, and it's totally in variance with Myanmar's good neighborly and friendly policy towards its neighbors. I thank you, Mr. President.
I now call on the representative of Azerbaijan on a second intervention.